Good morning, quilters. Hi, I'm Tiffany. Welcome to my quilting life, where we will have breakfast today. And we are going to have sausage fabric today. Okay. Anyways, let's see who is all here real quick. Sandra, Linda, Karen, Vicky, Cindy, Lois, and I lost the screen because it wants to update now. Okay. Where were we? Martha, Gloria, Shirley, Sue, Kay, John, Polly, Miki, Joyce, and Dawn, and more. Good morning, my friends. So today we are going to make something that has been asked for forever. Just gonna get it done in today's video. We are going to make the potato chip block. It's really a very simple block. So all you have to do is grab a pile of scraps that are 2.5 inch by 4.5 inch, or you could take a jelly roll and chop the whole thing up into 2.5 inch by 4.5 inch pieces, so that you can make this lovely, well, I'm making mine scrappy, but you can do yours not scrappy, make this potato chip block. So I have here a very wide variety, we're just going to take it all out of the box, of 2.5 inch by 4.5 inch. I could make a giant quilt with all this because I have a lot. So these are 2.5 inch by 4.5 inch. And this is going to be so simple, it'll blow your mind. Like, what? Really? That was that? Okay. So I'm going to have Scott tip the camera down so that you can watch the layout of this block and it'll make things make more sense. And we're going to get started sewing. This is very simple. I'm going to sew as I go. And I'm going to show you guys. You see the sewing machine too, right? Okay. It's going to do its thing.
I know. I'm trying to get it done. Right there.
All right.
We can see the sewing machine and you.
Yes. Okay. To start, again, 2.5 inch by 4.5 inch. So if you want to take a jelly roll and chop it up, this would be the time to do it for this block. We're going to take 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles or sausage bits because it's breakfast time and that's what we're going to call these, is little sausage links.
Yeah, your sausage link.
All right, so we're going to take two. We're going to put those right sides together and we're going to sew it. A 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then since I decided to do this today, we brought an iron next to me to make this go so much quicker in the showing you how it's made. Not really. All right, so once you have those two together, you're going to take two more. You're going to take one on the top and one on the bottom, just like this. So I'm going to take the one, 2.5 by 4.5, and put it on the top. And if it doesn't match, it's because you either cut wrong or you sewed a bigger seam allowance. Then a 1/4 inch. Once that is on, I shall press this thing, lay it back here, and now I'm going to attach this one. So I'm just going to put this on here. Should be the same exact size. Place it to the side and iron it. Now you have a unit that looks like this. And you're like, oh, wow, that looks kind of weird. But next, you're going to take, I'm just going to take two for this side. And I'm going to take two more for this side. And it looks like it's not going to fit. But don't worry, because seam allowances make it fit. So I'm going to go ahead and now I'm sewing on these lines instead. So on the 2.5 inch side, not the 4.5 inch side. making sure everything stays lined up. Those apart. We're going to press them. It does not matter, this whole entire thing, which way you press it. Just press however you feel you want to press things. So if the seam wants to go to the right, press it to the right. If it wants to go to the left, press it to the left. All right. So now we have this. Now I'm going to attach this guy to here on one side and then attach the other one to the other side. And before I do anything, I'm just going to go ahead and attach it. And if you're trying to put these in a specific order, just make sure before you place the next one on that you're putting them in the specific order that you want everything to be. Now that these are sewn on, I'm going to go ahead, take it over here, and press this. Like I said, most times it's just press away from the center. It works the best. Now you have this. You're like, well, what's the next step? So if you wanted this to be like a controlled scrappy or you're using a jelly roll, you could have these two be darker ones, but contrasting. And then this whole round right here be lighter ones because we're going to go around again on this top. It's like a log cabin almost. Right here. And let me grab two more. Right here. And right here. So now we're going to go on the top and the bottom. Again, we're sewing these on the 2.5 inch side. This. And then I'm going to press them. Doesn't matter which way again, just making it all flat. Now we're going to lay one here and lay one here. It's probably not even the same order. If you're trying to keep things in order, make them stay in order. Put them back where you had them. Now I'm just going to attach the top and bottom. I'm not going to this side because we don't want two seams together. We're going to the top and bottom where the seam is in the emptiness. So this should be exactly the right size. Grab that other one and plop that on there. Now to press. Oh, we're not done because we're trying to get a 12.5 inch block. All right. So now you have a piece that looks long. So it doesn't matter which way you have it, this way or this way. Now we're going to take some more strips, some more of our little sausage links, and we're going to put 3 across the top, this, and then 3 across the bottom, like this. So now we're going to hook these on the 2.5 inch side, and then we'll hook that last piece to it. This goes pretty quick, especially if you chain piece each section. So see, that's going to go there once I press it, and then these 3 pieces get hooked together. And it really doesn't matter which order because mine's scrappy, so if I get it out of order, oh well. So again, I'm just going to press these away from the center because that's the way they seem like they want to go. And that will go there. Press these. And now all we have to do is attach these. Okay, well, I'm gonna put this one this way. That way I don't have two whites touching. So I'm gonna go right sides together. It only fits one way. And then this is the way I had that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it this way, sew it on. I'm also trying to keep the seams from flipping because that tends to happen in my case. I'm going to go ahead and press these back. That's the whole entire thing because now it is a 12.5-inch block. See how simple that was? It's the most easiest. This is a very simple block to make. And they should be 12.5 inches. So if I measure it, oh look, 12.5 and 12.5. Perfect. So now I'm gonna make another one. They can't see the wall, so I'm just putting them like in front of me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, let's grab 2 for the center. And then I'm just going to start, I'm going to build it without sewing it first, just so that you guys can see. This way. 1, 2 that way. 2 this way. 2 this way. And 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So it'd be just like this. 2 in the center, 1 on top and bottom. 2 outside of that, 2 on top and bottom, and 3 outside of that on both sides. So you start with your center, which are the only seams that you hook on the 4.5-inch side. Everything else is just done on the 2.5-inch side, and I'm going to go ahead and just finger press.
Why do they call it a potato chip?
I don't know why it's called a potato chip block. It does not look like or resemble potato chips, but it's probably like the slogan of potato chips. You can't have just one. So,
Maybe
that could be the reason why it's named this. I honestly do not know. I just know how to make it. All right, see, so I finger pressed that units together. Now I just need to put all these sets of 2. I had it this way. That's the way I had it. That way the brown was on the other side, not touching the other brown. And I'm even going to go ahead and chain piece these through. Like I said, it'd probably be a lot of fun with just using a jelly roll to make your blocks, because you have more variety. Honestly, I don't even remember what side was where. Let's go there. There, and then we'll make these 3 units. This is probably the simplest thing. This is definitely 100% beginner friendly. Anybody can make this. So that one will be for that side and this for this side. So if you want to make 12 blocks, then you would make 24 units that are 3 blocks like this, 3 across. You'd make 24 of those units. You would make 48. What's 48 times 2? No, 24 and 48. You would make 48 of these 2-piece units, and then you'd make 12 center units and add some singles to the end. So 24 single units if you wanted to make just 12 blocks. All right, so without even pressing, I'm just going to sew this. Come on. So you could always have your same pieces landing in the same spot if you're doing controlled scrappy. All right, I'm going to press it at this point. It lays just a little bit flatter. Again, I'm just pressing away from the center on this whole thing. That would go there. Always in making sure that this piece goes on top of here, not on the side. You don't want 2 seams next to each other. So I'm going to build this one on here and this one on there. Press at this point. Lay it back here and go, okay, that looks about right. Now I'm going to put my 3-piece units on here where it has 3 pieces. And this will be the last for this block. This one goes on like this. And press. Press the whole block. This seam does not want to lay flat right there. It's a thicker fabric probably. And here we have another block. If I take it right here, it goes to 12 and a half and 12 and a half. See how easy that is? All right, so now I'm going to have the camera go back to where it goes, and I am going to chain piece a bunch of these and a bunch of these units and so on and so forth. And I'll put these up on the wall so that you can see. All right, so let's do some chain piecing. Just gonna bring all this closer to me. And just grab and sew. So how many do I have? 3. So this makes 4. I do have a couple solids mixed in here, but adds more to it, I guess. What am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's see, 15. I'm going to make 16 blocks. No. And one more. That was 14, right?
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Aye. See?
Do you want me to recount?
No, I got it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. Done with that part. Oh, my little thingamabobber's over here. Separate them. And then press them. He's going to take you to see the blocks on the wall. Camera's moving. So it's just scraps that I'm using, but like I said, you can use a jelly roll and chop the whole thing up into 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles. All right. Next step. I need to open all this up to get a bigger variety here. There we go. All right. So since I'm chain piecing, now that I have my sets of 2, I'm just going to grab one for each end. And attach these. And again, like I said, you can do a darker one in the middle or a lighter one, and then a darker set of them on the outer side right here, and then a lighter one, or dark, light, dark, or however you want to do it. It is your potato chip block, and you can do it your way. I like the controlled scrappy, though, of a jelly roll, using a jelly roll. And chopping it up, because then everything will go together. But it does, you know, it's just messed up. And you just have fun with it. If you have any questions, ask. Don't forget Saturday, this coming Saturday at 5 p.m. I will be over on Eric's channel for Treasure Heart Creations, and we will be starting our Tula Pink Butterfly quilts. We'll be starting our Tula Butterfly quilts over on his channel this Saturday at 5 p.m. Arizona time, which is Nevada time right now. We're both on the same time. Here.
You gonna do any sashing in between any of them?
When I put it together, I am gonna sash it. Yes. Huh? All right. So I'm gonna snip these apart and put one on the other side, and then I'll press the whole thing. All right. Grab and sew. Turn the whole thing around. Make it easier on me. I gotta try to mix all these up because there are like three, some of them have 3 or 4. Oops, out of bobbin. Some have 3 or 4 of the same color in each stack because obviously I cut my scraps down to certain sizes. I'm trying to use up some of these half empty bobbins here. I don't want to use that one on that. Come on. I will have probably some repeats in here because, you know, I have similar fabrics and I'm not quite paying full attention to how they're landing. But I am trying to mix them up as best as possible. Already used that. Already used that.
What kind of iron's your little iron?
My little iron is a Sunbeam. It's a Sunbeam iron.
Do you like it?
I like it. Yeah, it's cute. It works. It's hot. It presses the pieces. It has steam if I want steam. I already used one of those. I used those. I did not use this. I'm going to try to make it. I've already used it pile. How about that? Maybe that'll help. Use that. Excuse me. But I have not used this. That there. All right. All right, so what I'm going to do is press these real quick. And then I'm going to start making a bunch of sets of 2. There's only one thing I really don't like about this iron is the cord comes out from underneath me. So as if it was to be a left-handed iron, see? But I'm not left-handed, I'm right-handed. So that's the only thing is the cord is in the way.
It's for a lefty, huh?
Yeah,
A lefty
it's
iron.
definitely a lefty iron. I mean, for a right, if you had your ironing table to the right, the cord would be coming from behind you. But the way I'm sitting, I have it coming in from the left. But it's hard to have the ironing station on the right because, you know, I have no room over there for something. All right, now for sets of 2s. So I'm just going to start sewing these in 2s. I need to do 13 times 4. Come on. Already used that. Let's use this, put that in that pile. What am I at? 3, 4. Come on. Sometimes these are hard to separate. And 13. Let's do that again. One. 14. All right, 2 more times. I use that one. Let's do 2. So 1. Use that. 2. 3. 4. I know for a fact I've already used that. 5. 6. 7. 8. Oops, wrong pile. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. Any questions while I'm not on count? Because I got to do it one more time. All right, I'm counting again. That, I used that. Okay. Come on, separate. Oops, don't drop it. And one more. Hopefully, this is the last for the sides all the way around. That should be 13. Times 4. I'm just doing 13 because I have 14, 15, and 16 on the wall already to make 16 blocks to do 4 across before down to have a square quilt. So you can see these aren't very hard to do. Quite simple. Oh, come on. All right, set that aside. Come over here and press all of this. Just to one side or the other, honestly doesn't matter. The hard part is separating the fabric. My goodness.
How large are the blocks once they're done?
They are 12.5-inch blocks is what we are making. 12.5-inch. Unfinished, 12-inch finished. I know a lot of people like to hear the finished number, but I go by the unfinished number. I don't know, my brain doesn't see the, when someone says, 13-inch finished, I'm like, huh? Oh, okay, so that's 12.5-inch. You know what I mean? Finished or whatever. Yeah, my brain doesn't see it that way because that would have meant it was 13.5 inches and blah, blah, blah. No, I just say 12.5-inch block. I don't know. A lot of people like the finished size though, which is 12 inches. But obviously, if you just take the unfinished size and take away 1/2 inch, then you should get your finished size. I just don't think of it that way. So when I say today I'm making 6.5-inch blocks, they'll be unfinished 6.5-inch blocks, I don't know. We all think of things differently and how we, and how we work. I just work with unfinished sizes.
Anyone make a sewing machine that uses a spool instead of a bobbin?
Make a sewing machine that uses a spool instead of a bobbin? No, not that I'm aware of. And if they did, that would be amazing.
Yeah, you've had that conversation.
I've had that conversation here on my channel before. Because then it would probably, companies would lose money if there was, no bobbin cases. You know what I mean? If it was spools, there would be no bobbin companies. Yeah. That's the only reason why. I'm pretty sure of it.
What size sashing are you going to use?
I'm probably going to use a 2.5-inch sashing. So my rule is, in my brain, blocks that are bigger than like 7 inches or bigger need 2.5-inch sashing. And since all this is 2.5 inches, I can add cornerstones from my scrappy 2.5-inch square bin and have a bunch of cornerstones too. So I can just grab it, whatever fabric from my stash and put sashing on it, and then put cornerstones that are 2.5-inch squares, and make it so much easier. And then I won't have to do anything else. Plus, it will look really thin if you do like a 1.5-inch or 1 3/4 or 2-inch. I think it would just look too skinny. It finishes at 2 inches if you do 2.5-inch. So I think that's like the perfect size for 12.5-inch blocks. Almost done with this, and we're going to start putting these on both sides, and then we'll start sewing 3 pieces together. All right, all these are ready. Sew on both sides of all of this. All right, I guess I will just throw these on this side. and just start placing them on here. And since mine are scrappy, it doesn't matter which way or what they go. I will watch for repeats though, because I probably didn't get all the exact fabrics out, you know. I probably will have at least 2 or 3 repeats accidentally because, you know, I'm using scraps. And I used that bobbin all up finally. I probably should put a whole one in so that it lasts longer while I'm on live stream, but you know, I just want to get those other ones used up. Guess I'll use this off camera. Where did it end? Right there. Oop. Now I'm throwing things. How many of you have made these blocks before? And how many of you haven't? I will see it go by in the chat. Haven't made any. So pretty much a lot of you.
So far. Debbie made 40 of them.
A lot of you haven't.
Yeah, I know.
So far, only one has. Well, a lot of you haven't made this yet. I'll put a darker one on this one. Very fun, super easy. Like I said, I think it would look great with a jelly roll. But I have too many scraps, so I can just make whatever I want with the scraps that I want. Whenever I want to make it. All right, now that I sewed one side, I'm going to turn the whole pile around, put it on my lap, and do the opposite side. Yeah, this could be a project that could be made in a day. If you're like me. If you sew like I do.
You've made plenty of start to finish quilts in one day.
Yeah,
You've done it while we had a yard sale even.
Yeah, I've done plenty of start to finish quilts. I can make a quilt in a day. Yep. Scott was doing a yard sale once, and not only did I piece the whole quilt, but I also quilted it on the long arm. And people that were coming to the yard sale were like, wow, what is that machine? I've never seen that before. Or they'd come up and say, can I come watch? What is she doing? Or they'd say their grandma had one, but it wasn't mechanical. It was sit and sew on the frame. Come on, pieces. Let's choose this one. The only thing I really can't do in a day, I think, is when I do other people's patterns. When I do other people's patterns, I tend to take longer because I have to read directions, you know, and I think that's what takes longer. Because as y'all know, I don't like to follow directions. I'm not a direction follower very well. I tend to do my own thing. Okay, almost done with this round, and then we'll press it and add more. And then we'll start piecing the ones that take 3. I probably should have chose a jelly roll for this project, but I really have a lot of scraps that I can use, so that's the only reason why I didn't. Plus, I like scrappy quilts. Scrappy makes me happy.
I think they know you like the scrappy quilts. Yeah.
Yeah, they know I like scrappy by now. Just before the live stream, I was working on my epic fabric by the yard because I still have a bunch of it in here that I'm trying to stitch up. All right, these are 2s, so I'm just going to use my regular snips for this. Set them aside over there. All right, I gotta stand. Right, everything's starting to hurt me more. That's okay. Today, later, I get my injections in my spine, and fingers crossed that it helps me. I used to get them in my 20s, but I haven't gotten any shots in my spine since my 20s, and I was getting them in my upper spine because my lower spine was fine. But now, top and bottom are not good. I really hope that you guys try making this, and if you do, post it in the Facebook group or share it on Instagram and tag at Tiffany's Quilting Life, and I will see it. I don't get on Instagram as much. I don't really get on Facebook as much either. Scott does the Facebook, and then he says, oh, I see, here, you got to see this. Somebody did this. He's the one that checks it, and then Karen too, but I really don't see much
Karen
of it.
runs the Facebook group. I just go on every now and then and see what's on there.
I'm like I consider myself the talent, so everybody else is my, everything else. But I do see pictures. Just because I'm not on there commenting doesn't mean anything, but I'm on here making things constantly or sewing constantly, so I really don't find myself sitting on Facebook and stuff anymore. I like spurt post on Instagram. So if you ever want to see finished projects, they're always on Instagram, but I spurt post them. So it means I'll post 3 or 4 posts in one day, and then I won't touch it for like a month or two. And it's always like previous projects from like 3 to 6 months ago. I'm not really good about posting and sharing and all that. I'm really bad at it. I'm gonna stack a little bit of this out of the way for a minute. So I can put those there.
I like your shirt.
Thank you. It was bought for me while I was at QuiltCon this past year. All right, so I'm making sure that my piece side goes to the not piece side. You don't want to hook them together on the same side. You always want them touching, no seams touching. There's nothing to nest in this whole entire project. So if you just lay everything next to you, you know, in the same direction, you'll have less chances of sewing it the wrong way. I need to take a drink of water. I really, really hope that I'll be able to sit longer after the injections, because it's getting hard on my feet standing to sew all the time. Because, you know, when you stand to sew, you're standing on one leg only. The other one is on the foot pedal, and you're constantly moving it off and on the foot pedal. I just hold mine on the foot pedal. That way I don't have to keep removing it. So I'm literally flamingoing it. I am a flamingo at this point. On one leg.
The injections hurt?
When I used to get them in the past, no, they don't hurt. Now that I'm older and I'm a sissy and everything hurts, I don't know.
Well, you'll find out today.
I will find out today. In the past, I remember getting numbed first and then having the injections. And they do it under fluoroscopy so that they don't mess up and go, they see exactly where they're going in. That's how I have my hip injections, is under fluoroscopy, which is pretty much x-ray guided. You're under an x-ray machine and they take a bunch of pictures to make sure that every time they insert the needle more and more that it's in the right spot. Definitely don't do it if you're afraid of needles, though. But if you're in a lot of pain, you know, you might want to consider it. Needle afraided or not. Oh, come on. Just look what I did. I sewed more than one because obviously I can't separate fabrics properly.
You got 3 of them all in one.
Hey, I still got to sew 3 together, you know. Just kidding. Let me rip this real quick and fix this before my brain goes crazy. Oh my God, what did I do that for? Come on, get in there, seam ripper. All right, let's try that again. Let's flatten these because obviously I made myself a disaster here. Put that there. Re-sew these together. It's happening more and more often that I sew accidentally multiple pieces together. That.
It's called talent, right?
Yeah.
It's talented right there.
It's very talented that I can't separate the pieces good enough to. Come on, right there. Let's put that seam ripper away so we won't need it again. Although that probably won't be the first of me sewing multiple pieces together because, you know, it just happens all the time. 2 more, and then I go the other side, and then we'll start piecing the 3s. That means I gotta count again. Oy, oy, oy. All right, I'm gonna just snip these to do the opposite side. That way I don't have to sit down. I could stay standing for this part. All right, so I'm just gonna turn everything around. And this should be the last of these 2s. Sewing all this on here. And then we'll press it and sew those 3 units together. Again, these are 2.5 by 4.5 inch pieces. Just in case you're just joining, it's 2.5 by 4.5 hooked together on the 4.5, then 2.5 by 4.5 on each end, and then 2. All this is 2.5, 4.5. So I can stop saying that. Then 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, always on the side that has no seam, and then you're going to do 2 on top and 2 on bottom, always on the side that has no seam, and then 3 on top and 3 on bottom, and you only do that once for a 12.5 inch block. Or if you want the finished number, it's 12, but you know. What? Oh yeah, you guys haven't seen Thumper in a while. Scott was like,
I haven't seen him since he had his haircut.
You guys haven't seen him since he got his haircut because he's been camera shy or something. I should have took a picture of him yesterday though, because yesterday he came into my room, and I have 2 wingback chairs in my bedroom so that when we have company and I'm stuck in bed, they can come in my room and sit in there, although we just sit in there anyway, whether I'm stuck in bed or not. We just hang out in my bedroom. And yeah, so yesterday he comes in the room and he didn't want to be on the bed and hang out at the end of the bed like he usually does. Instead, he was put on one of the wingback chairs that has his quilt that was specifically made for him with all cat fabric. And he actually stayed there. This was like at, I don't know, not even 6 o'clock in the evening. And he stayed there all the way until almost midnight when I had to finally throw him out because I don't like to close my bedroom door to sleep with him still stuck in the room.
You actually threw him out? I thought he came out of his house.
No, I picked him up and put him on the beanbag. Yeah. It was like,
why don't you just let him sleep in there? Maybe he'd have stayed all night and been good boy.
Nah, he would have got up and tried to beg to get out of the room.
Well, he might.
Well, he went straight. He went straight for his food when I let him out. I put him in the beanbag, and then he went straight to his food bowl. By the time I came back in the house, he was already. I don't know where he went. He went to the beanbag again or something. Because you had woken up to turn all the TVs off.
I turned everything off and laid down, and he gets quiet because he knows.
Actually, I'm going to put the purple and yellow on this one because the other one has purple and yellow on the sides already. All right, one more, and we're going to sit down and sew the other ones after I press.
Let him know he only has a little over a week, and then he'll be a year older.
It's almost his birthday. We're going to celebrate by not doing anything.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll pet him, but he might hide the whole day like he does every day. All right, let's press all these.
do you replace your seam rippers?
How often do I replace my seam rippers? Never.
Really?
Never.
You've never done that?
I've never had to replace my seam rippers. Actually, no. I take that back. I had to buy the replacements for these, remember? Because the ball came off, and then for the one that was in here didn't fit, remember? And it kept falling out, so I got two more. Remember that?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah. I had broke the ball off, which is no big deal. It still works. But yeah, the thing itself did not fit in here properly, so I got new ones so that it would fit. So that's the only seam ripper that I've ever replaced an end to. Never bought or gotten any other seam ripper. Like my long arm, I have had the same 2 seam rippers that are at the long arm since I started long arm quilting. They've been the same ones, and they work just fine. Of course, on the long arm, you pick differently than when you pick in here, but almost done pressing. Just a little bit more to go. I would definitely not suggest having a small iron to press a whole entire quilt, though. You know, like once you start getting it together, this iron's kind of small for that. I'd say this is like the piece that blocks together iron, and the big iron is for putting a whole quilt together. And yes, I slide it, not press, because it doesn't matter. These are scrappy blocks. And there's no seams nesting together. It just works out perfect. So you can just slide your iron all around like you're pressing clothing. As long as your seams are flat, that's all that matters. All right, let's put those units of 3 together now. Slide that way. Oh, let me get this completely out of the way.
Have you ever had a chocolate root beer float?
A chocolate root beer float? Ew, gross.
With chocolate ice cream?
No, with chocolate ice cream? No.
Okay. No, I have. That's how I used
Scott
to eat
has.
all mine.
He used to eat his that way. No, I actually don't like soda, and I prefer not to drink it because it burns my throat.
You've done root beer floats.
But I've had root beer floats. I'm just not too fond of them.
Because we used to do them with the kids every now and then.
Yeah, we would do root beer floats with the kids. And
we'd do root beer floats and pizza.
Root beer floats and pizza party.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, I'm not too fond of root beer floats because I don't like soda at all. Yeah, my whole entire life, I never really drank soda because it burns my throat, and I think that's good. That's probably the healthiest choice I've ever made. My second healthiest choice I've ever made is I actually don't like beer or alcohol either. So I have very rarely in my life drank because it just is disgusting, like absolutely disgusting. I don't like anything carbonated is what it is. Like everyone says, drink 7-Up and stuff when you have a stomach ache or whatever. I don't like any of that. I think I'm just going to sew a bunch and stop counting it, and then whatever is left over is left over. Because it's hard to keep track of where I am here. I already used those. I haven't used this. Trying to make sure I only grab one piece, but you know.
You you like Crystal Light?
Crystal Light, what's that?
It's a flavor. It comes in all different flavors, but most people
Is it
do
a
tea.
carbonated water?
No.
Crystal Light, what is it?
It's a packet of stuff you dump in the water and mix it. Normally it's tea, but I think they have lemonade and other flavors too. I don't know if
Probably
we've ever
not.
gotten
I
any of
like.
the- I used to like the tea one.
I don't like tea. I don't like coffee.
It's a cold tea.
Yeah.
Like an iced
Actually,
tea.
I can't
It's
say
like an
that.
iced tea.
I like raspberry brisk iced tea.
Yeah, that you do like.
That I will drink. I won't drink a lot of it, but I'll drink it. Like every now and then, maybe twice a year when we go to the dollar store, I'll buy the what is it, 2 liter bottle or 1 liter bottle. I don't know. It's more than 1 day's worth for me because I can't drink a lot of the time. I said, hoo, hoo, hoo. Here's some owls. Hoo, hoo. Owls and Halloween will be mixed in. I think I already used that one. Puppy paws. Now, what I do like to drink is, and I don't drink a lot of it either, is strawberry or orange strawberry. What is it called again? Sunny D. I like that.
You also like cranberry juice.
And I also like cranberry juice.
But you don't drink either of them. You drink water all day.
But I drink water. 90% of the day is water. Did I just sew 2 again? I did. I knew that felt thick. See, I shouldn't have put the seam ripper away. But I do that on purpose so that I wouldn't need it. But guess what? I need it. I'm just going to sew it onto this one. Separate the 2 of these. And instead of putting it back in my basket of, oh, I already sewed those colors. Let's move on down to, didn't do this one yet. And this one. Since there's already a stitch line on that. Put it away. Don't want to get it. Don't want it again.
Did you throw something?
My little puffball fell. My dust thing. Over there on the side. Since Thumper's not in here, it don't matter. Okay, I've already sewn like 2 of these. That means I had more than 1 stack of them, or else I pulled the stack right in the middle of them. I have no idea what number I'm on. Okay, that was no, that was.
Did it again?
I did it again. I told you it was going to happen more than once. Something about some of these fabrics, they just don't feel as thick. Like, and then some feel like super thick. That's like, what, 5 now? 4? That's 4 times. I'm going to use it because I already threw a seam in it. Those would be my repeats. I think I've gone far enough. I don't know. I think I have done 13 times 2.
You want me to count?
No, I'll count right now.
That would be 26. 13 times 2.
My brain is only thinking of the 13 times 2. Let's count how many there are here. 2, 3.
Someone need a bacon flavored drink. You drink that. I'm just joking.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He said, I just need a bacon flavored drink. I'll drink that. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we need 3 more. 11, 12, and 1 more. 13. Okay. So all these, and then add to the rest of them, and I don't have to count that because they're already together. As long as I don't sew 2. Today's just one of those days, you know? Okay, that's not 2. All right, let's separate these and put them in the stack, and now open it and sew. I already did that. I didn't do one of these. Those are the same. I haven't done that. I already did that. Didn't do this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make myself a little pile here so that I can separate the ones I have and haven't used yet. I've already used those. That and that. And there's 2 right here, not 1. Stack the same. Okay. A couple more. More variety of color. Grab some of this. That should be enough pieces, I think. Right there. Let's see. Let's see how far we get with what I pulled. All right, here we go. Get that out of my way. Any questions?
We're talking about chocolate covered bacon.
Chocolate covered bacon.
I've never even heard of it. I didn't even know they made such a thing.
I knew they made chocolate covered bacon, but
Well, you've never tried it, have you?
I have not tried it. I'm not sure I really want to mix yummy chocolate with yummy bacon together. Because I like say bacon and eggs or pancakes and bacon, but I like my bacon separate. So, you can cook bacon, crumple it up, and then put it in your pancakes and have pancake. You can do it with sausage too, but do bacon pancakes. I actually don't like that. I prefer to have my bacon to the side. I don't know why. Weird. Even though I like both things equally, I just like my bacon to the side. So I don't like crumpling up my bacon and putting it in my eggs. I'm different. The one thing I do like mixed in scrambled eggs is fried hot dogs. Don't know why. Been doing it since I was a kid. I love it. Fried hot dogs and scrambled eggs and fried potatoes all together. Just one big mushy mess. That's one of mine and Scott's cheat meals. When eggs are on sale, we make giant things of fried potatoes and eggs and hot dogs, fried hot dogs.
Which, yes, they've finally been cheap again, so we've been able to buy them.
But
They got
eggs
$2 a dozen around here.
Eggs have finally been in our budget again, so we've been able to get them lately. So I had scrambled eggs and stuff lately because we finally can afford them. I don't know why eggs are so expensive and they just drop again and then they're so expensive again, but whatever. Oh, look, I think I grabbed more than I needed. Seems like it. Yep, I did. I grabbed more than I needed, which is always better than not grabbing enough. Oh, some of these are repeats too. Go figure. Use that. All right, the rest of this can go over there. Slide all this out of the way. And separate and press. Can you put some water in this real quick?
Yeah.
While I'm separating. Move all that completely out of the way though, because I don't need any more of those.
Where's the fill line?
Oh, you're just. I'll
just guessing?
Yeah, I'll tell you on a step. And stop.
Where is it? Why don't you tell me?
I was assuming it's this right here.
Oh. Well, it comes oozing out. I guess we overfilled it.
All right.
Don't appear to be. Oh, no.
It's fine.
It is a little in the back here. Is that not shut all the way? I don't know. It's a little wet. Just start ironing. It'll use up.
All right. Just going to press all this and we'll attach them. And then press again. Oh, come on. Like I said, it does not matter which way you press everything as long as it's flat. This is one of those you don't really have to go by any rules kind of projects. Except for having a 1/4 inch seam. You should have a 1/4 inch seam through the whole thing. So that would be the only rule to follow. That way everything matches up.
Yeah, I told you it's oozing out. I think it's filled a little too full.
Yep, it's too full. It's fine. I'll just use the fabric to dry it. I don't even know where the fill line is. I don't see one. Almost done, then we'll sew these on. So if you've never done stuff like this and you're not used to scraps, go to one of my how I cut my scrapped videos and see all the different sizes I cut. 2.5 by 4.5 is one of my sizes that I cut in my 2.5-inch series of cuts, because I also cut 2.5 by 6.5 and 2.5 by 8.5. Again, I do that on purpose so that I can just grab and sew. This is what I do. I like to just be able to come in here and sew, and the cutting is already done because I spend an hour in the evening time. I don't do it every evening, but I do spend an hour in the evening times in my fabric room cutting fabric or sorting or whatever. All right, last one. Again, these go on not these sides because they won't fit too big. It goes on the long sides and there'll be no seams to nest. Just literally sewing them on. I am trying to watch, making sure that my seams don't flip, because obviously the blocks don't lay as flat when your seam flips underneath. So I'm trying to keep them the way that I pressed them. They like to flip hitting that thing on my metal needle plate. Which drives me nuts, but I've tried tape and I sew too much, the tape gets, it starts peeling off, just like my seam tape. I sew way too much to have this kind of stuff on my machine, any kind of tape products. Have I considered making a stained glass quilt? Well, I've made lots of quilts that kind of resemble stained glass.
Yeah, the one you just did on Sunday. You're going to finish this next Sunday.
Yeah.
Looks like stained glass.
Yeah, so Sunday's project kind of looks like stained glass without the black or silver, whatever color is, separating the glass pieces.
There's a cool one on the Facebook group that somebody did.
Scott said there's a cool one in the Facebook group that somebody did and posted. I've been to quite a few quilt shows, and one of the quilt shows I went to, they had a booth where the lady was teaching stained glass, but she was using, what's the word for it? Bias tape and gluing it down in between pieces. And then top stitching. Yes, that was here in town.
I remember that lady.
I'm not sure the name of the woman that does it.
Her work was amazing.
Let alone
she did all the Norse and Celtic looking
stuff.
stuff.
The Norse and Celtic looking stained glass. Yes.
It looked awesome.
If I'm gonna ever do it, I think I will do it the pieced way, where you do a like, I don't know, trying to think of the size. like a 5/8 inch strip of fabric. In between all the colors. But I'd have to plan it out first for it to even look good.
Have you ever done a cathedral window?
Cathedral window I have not done. The only reason why is because every single pattern for the cathedral window is you piece more than one layer and it's just thick. And I don't like to waste fabric. I am a non-fabric waster. As you can tell, I'm sewing scraps because I don't want to waste them. I don't know why. I just don't want to do it all their ways. I'd have to figure out a way to do it my way, which I don't know which way that would be yet because I haven't done it. But every single one of them requires the folding of the fabric, and there's multiple layers, and then you have a ton of seams underneath, and you can only quilt it sitting at your sit-down machine because on the long arm it would be hard and it would be really heavy, and you know, all the excuses as to why I haven't. I need to stand again. This is killing me. Several things. Again, for those who are just joining, making a potato chip blocks. I don't know why they're called potato chip. They don't look like potato chip. But as the saying goes, with potato chips, you can't have just one. So that's probably why this is named it what it's named.
He can't eat just one of anything.
Huh?
Or if it's my husband, he can't eat just one of anything.
Yeah, if it's my husband, he can't just eat one of anything. So potato chips or not. It's just, you gotta have more than one. All right, there we have it. Now I just need to press.
Does the sitting and standing change the angle in your project?
Sitting and standing change the angle of my project. What do you mean? When I'm standing above it, it's just the same as if I'm sitting in front of it. Only difference is when I'm standing above, due to the fact that my desk is not higher than it is, I can't see the needle as well. All right, here we go. Let's press all these, put them on the wall. What I'm gonna do is put them on the wall as if there's sashing in between. Oh man, are you kidding me? All right. We're gonna do 4 across by 4 down because I'm making 16 blocks. I'll post it this way, that way every other one is alternated. So this is about what it'll look like. If we have time, we can probably cut some sashing. We'll see how quick I can get these pressed. Right there. Let's put it here. You can see these are pretty easy to make. They go together pretty quickly. I was able to put 15 blocks because I had the 16th made while on live stream. So 15 blocks in less than 2 hours. I know that you guys can do this. You can even use these as leaders and enders, your pieces, and then sew them all together later kind of thing. You can sew them directly together also, but I don't want to do that. I want to add sashing to make it bigger because the bigger it is, the better. I like bigger quilts. I want it to be usable. Obviously, my ability to lay things straight on the wall are a little not straight, but so far, there's that. And then I'm going to... Black will probably be the best color, huh? Black always goes great with scraps.
Probably. White would probably. Yeah.
I like black better.
I think black's best, yes.
Black is best. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some 12.5-inch by 2.5-inch strips. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 for now. That would be all within the inner border. I mean, inner sashing, you know, but just for the video's sake, I'll get this cut up and laid on here, and we'll put some 2.5-inch squares in with it. Since I have a ton of those in here too. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, one more for now. Should be almost enough, I think. Move this out of the way for a second. Turn this to the side. I'm going to go ahead and subcut 12.5 inches. I'm going to cut the selvage off and then cut 12.5. And then open it up and cut another 12.5. Lay that there. Come over to 12.5. And we're going to place these in here so that you can see about what it will look like. Oh yes, black was the perfect choice. I like the color of using the color black when I do scrap stuff. I don't know why. It just makes the scraps pop better, in my opinion.
Good. Black looks good.
Yeah, black just makes it pop.
So then you're going to use the scrap for the cornerstones in between?
Yep, from a different scrap bin from the 2.5-inch squares.
That'll look so cool.
And then I'll put a black border all the way around it first and then grab another fabric. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more. And I cut 8 strips. Look at that. See, I'm on it. And that was all just random. I didn't actually know how many I needed. I just cut that many. So I got to iron at the fold. That way it lays flat. More. And 12 and a half. There. And that scrap. Down just a little bit. Not perfect, but whatever. If you didn't notice, I also have the blocks alternated. So there's 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2 on there so that they're always up, sideways, up, sideways.
I just noticed that. Okay.
Yeah. So I alternated. Obviously, I cannot lay blocks out very well. Oh, that's funny. And 1, 2 more. So for this size quilt, whatever size this actually is going to be, I cut 8 2.5-inch strips. Whoa. And subcut it into the amount of, it's an exact amount of 2.5 strips for inner. So now we're going to take some 2.5-inch squares that are all different from my 2.5-inch square bin and place them in the gaps. So we got to have a Tula right here, a Mad Hatter hat.
Oh, that's awesome! Right in the middle.
We got to have some football right there, some green polka dots right there.
That is so cool.
Right here with the white. And we're going to grab a pink with polka dot because why not? And I need one more. Yeah, one more.
Yep, one more.
One more in this right here. Bam. So there's that.
You got football helmets.
Yeah. Well, it's all scraps. Is the camera see the whole thing? Because I don't have time to piece it together, guys. So sorry, I kind of shifted it that way. I didn't even realize it. So there's what it's going to look like. Then I will take black again. I'm just going to place this here and go all the way around the perimeter. And then I'm going to take probably a big border, like a 6-inch border, the rest of the way around. Is what I'll do to finish this off. I will piece this off camera and just remind me on the next breakfast at Tiffany's, hey, can we see the top? Then I'll show you the top. But the rest of I'm just going to do this off camera because next week would go way too quick, or the next breakfast at Tiffany's would go way too quick if I sewed this together on the video. And you guys know, just hook the rows together and then hook this as a row. And then you hook that to that, hook this as a row, hook this as a row, this, that, hook them all together, and bam, you got yourself a quilt. Go all the way around it. It's going to need 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 more black strips for me. I don't know what color you want to do for first border, but I'll need 6 more black strips to go around the perimeter the one time. And then probably 1.25 yards, maybe 1.5 yards for a nice 6-inch border to go the rest of the way around that. At this point, can I have that measuring thing real quick?
The measuring thing.
I'm gonna just give I'm just gonna give a general roundabouts right here.
Here, you go one side, I go the other.
Oh, I would have been able to do the whole thing. A general roundabouts is like 57 inches, and I do have these laying on top of each other as if they were seams. So it's going to be around 56 to 58 inches, somewhere in there, square at this point until you add your next border. So, I mean, I think it's going to look amazing. And that's it. That's how simple the potato chip block is. It literally goes together like that. So start cutting your scraps down, or my opinion, for a more cleaner look, if you want it to match, just take a jelly roll. There's usually 21 different colored strips in a jelly roll, which would work perfect because each block would get a good mix of every single strip in a different position. Still sash it. Again, 8 strips for the sashing, 8 2.5-inch strips for the sashing, and then plus the 6 for the outer first border, and then your second border is going to be more yardage. And then you just need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 2.5-inch squares to go with this wonderful thing. And again, I just use scraps. If you guys want to check out my scrap videos, and this recent one is how I organize fan fabric. And yeah, that's how this is done. It's like perfect. All right, any questions before I get off of here? Because it's time for this girl to eat. Yep. I had my sausage pieces of fabric. Now it's time for real substance.
Tell me you'll be on Saturday with Eric.
Oh, and don't forget,
Sunday,
Saturday at 5 p.m. on Eric's channel, Treasure Heart Creations. There's going to be a link in the chat right now. Go ahead and go over there and subscribe so that you can get the notification. Ring the bell so you can get the notification that will be on Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific and or Arizona time, because right now we're the same exact time zone. We're going to be working on, we're starting the butterfly Tula quilt. I've chosen all my fabrics. He's chosen all his, and we're going to literally make it right there in front of you in our 2-hour time slot each and every, hopefully, Saturday. He works a full-time job, so that one makes it a little bit harder, but hopefully we'll be doing it each Saturday.
Is your second outer border going to be colorful or solid?
My second outer border is going to be a colorful something or other. I'm not going to use a solid for that. I will actually use a print of some sort. Something that kind of blends with everything. Maybe a super, super duper messy print that has like lots of color in it. I like to do that with scrap quilts, you know, mix and match things with my borders, you know, something that has all the colors in it. Just remind me at next breakfast at Tiffany's and I'll show you the quilt top. Or I'll post it somewhere, which I doubt I will because I never remember to do that. But, you know, if I do remember, I will. Anyways, thank you guys all for hanging out with me this morning. Hope you guys had a lovely breakfast, or now it's probably lunchtime for you. Some of you, it's probably nighttime because of the time difference and the time zones. So, I don't see any other questions. We can go ahead and get off of here. Thank you guys for hanging out. See you next time. Bye.